currently 3 o'clock in the morning. We're gonna see how well I can pull this video out of my ass. I'm gonna tell you guys how I burnt all of my fingers and got a really bad burn on my hand from a calculation error. That sounds weird, but it's true. It was grade 12 chemistry, and I was doing an experiment testing how salt would affect the boiling point of water. Cookie cutter lab, whatever. I should probably illustrate the setup of the lab because I have a beautiful whiteboard right here, and I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna be a real scientist. I'm gonna illustrate things. Stuff is gonna happen, and explosions if you're lucky, but only if you're lucky. Now I'm gonna make this legit. I'm gonna use all the markers. There was a retort stand. That's a retort stand. Okay, now it's a retort stand. And then there's a ring clamp. That's a ring clamp. Okay, now it's a ring clamp. And then there was a Bunsen burner right here. Yeah, that's right. I draw flame first when I'm drawing my Bunsen burners. There's the rest of the Bunsen burner right there. And then there's the gas line that goes from the Bunsen burner. It's never that long, ever. And then there was one of those mesh thingies on top of the ring clamp. And then there's a beaker filled with, wait for it, filled with water. I thought I was gonna use all the markers. So yeah, that's what my lab looks like, totally. So how I burnt all my fingers, this is unrelated to the calculation error, but how I burnt all of my fingers was, I had to hold a thermometer in that beaker of water while the Bunsen burner was still on. I alternated fingers and hands and grabbing things, but I burnt all of my fingers. They were calloused and it hurt to touch things. But enough about me burning my fingers. On to the part that was extremely painful. The part where I get burned because I made a calculation error. So I was done the lab and I had to put everything away, and all that was remaining was the I can illustrate this. All that was remaining to put away was the ring clamp and the retort stand. Can you tell it's 3 in the morning right now? Am I talking really loud? So all that was left to put away was the ring clamp and the retort stand, because I had to get the physics. So I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I wonder if it's cooled down, and then I remember, iron has a low heat capacity. I'm like, oh yeah, it's probably made of iron. Iron has a low heat capacity, whatever. So I touch it, and I get burned. Really f***ing bad. I didn't realize it was really bad at the time because I just started jumping around and going, oh my god! There goes my markers. And then my chemistry teacher, Mr. Ross, was all like, did you seriously burn yourself? And I was like, yes, God! And he's like, how did you manage to do that? I forgot to take into account the math! Allow me to illustrate now with math. Q equals MC delta T. I explained this in my video stuff that I did. The heat capacity is proportional to the heat and the temperature. If it has a low heat capacity, then it's not going to be as hot. It's not going to be as hot for as long. Thing is, I forgot to take into account the mass. So the equation in my head looks a little something like this. Well, not, that looks like a Greek letter. What letter does that look like? Annotation of whatever Greek letter that is. If you've ever held a ring clamp, you know it's quite massive. Yes, I am using the proper usage of the word massive because it has a lot of mass. It wasn't cooled down at all. And I burnt myself really bad. So I didn't really realize how bad the burn was. Like, oh sure, I ran it underwater for like 30 seconds. I was like, whatever. Like, it wasn't that bad. Whatever. I didn't want to look like an idiot in front of my chemistry teacher. I did anyway, but you know, that's a different story. Part of my hand that I burnt was right here. And so I go to physics class, and this is a few minutes later, and I'm trying to write. I'm holding my pencil, and it's rubbing right against where I got burnt. So I'm like, why does it hurt so much to write? Why? I know why my fingers hurt, but why does my hand hurt? Oh yeah, because I'm an idiot and I forgot to take into account the mass. So if that's not learning, I don't know what is. I always remember this equation because heat equals MCAT. MCAT being the entrance exam to medical school. I watch a lot of Grey's Anatomy. In my mind, doctors are hot, so hotness equals passing the MCAT. I just thought that hotness was cats, apparently, because my mind was stuck in internet mode or something weird, but I forgot to take into account the mass, and I got burnt really bad because of it. I will never, ever forget the mass in this equation ever again, because I got burnt, and it hurt. That kind of rhymed. But is that really a crime? Oh! What? I need to go sleep now. Goodbye.